Hey, how's it going, folks? Well, WWE is working on moving production for television and pay-per-view events to a 20,000-seat Amway Center in Orlando, Florida, beginning with next week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. And although WWE has yet to announce the finalized plans, the company has entered a lease agreement with the Amway Center until October 30th. And the plans are to use interactive technology to bring fans in with the action, so they're going to be using LED boards, having virtual fans in the building from home, so they'll have them projected on these screens. But back in March, when WWE first suspended live events and on-location broadcasts due to the ongoing health crisis, on March 13th, SmackDown aired for the first time from the Performance Center, and the company has since used that location for production. Well, Chris DeJoseph, who was a WWE producer and creative team member who was released from the company this past June, was there for a lot of the early pitches for the quote-unquote empty arena era of WWE. And he did speak with Wade Keller of the Pro Wrestling Torch, and he did talk about several ideas that were pitched during that time, including cooking segments, office fights, live Twitter reactions, animated fans, CGI fans, hologram fans, and WWE legends to do taped segments. At one point in time, WWE did put out a survey. They're trying to gauge interest, whether or not they could have live reactions recorded from viewers at home and then put them on the screen as the matches were going on. Well, apparently Vince McMahon didn't like a lot of these ideas. First, for the fact that they were going to start pre-taping things, and then he couldn't be bothered with doing some of these interactive things. And WWE started looking at what other brands were doing, what Fox was doing with NASCAR, what other properties were doing, and they were talking about getting green screens for the fans. They were talking about doing things like virtual billboards, augmented reality, and then big budget options like CGI and holograms. But obviously a lot of these things, or all these things, really didn't take off, and they decided just to do empty arena shows with NXT developmental talent in the crowds. Chris DeJoseph did say the following: everything was thrown against the wall. There was talk of animated fans. Nobody really knows what we're doing here because it's a whole new world. You're watching other shows and seeing how they're handling it. There was an idea. I threw an idea out there to have legends come on and do tape segments with them to add some newness to the show. We didn't know if the wrestlers would even be allowed to wrestle each other at one point. And then he also stated there was a lot of discussion about getting fans on screen watching the show and reacting. It started with SmackDown, and Fox had just tried it with a NASCAR race, and they didn't feel like it was worth doing. After going through all the trouble, they didn't really see the payoff, and you can't really control what the audience reaction is. Also, eventually those shows started to be taped in advance, and it became kind of impossible to do something like that. There were all sorts of ideas, including having live Twitter reactions. So lots of stuff that WWE did have plans early on. They didn't know exactly what they were dealing with. Ultimately, they ended up producing some cinematic content. They did a lot of stuff interactive with, say, the people in the audience, with the developmental talent. They brought in the retribution angle, all types of stuff. And now they're going to do something even different with this virtual fans, where applications are supposed to be starting up this upcoming week to become a virtual fan for the new era of WWE at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. A closed set, but there will be a lot more interactive elements when you are watching from TV, just because WWE does plan on going live every week starting next Friday. That being said, what do you think of all this? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to DDT that like button and subscribe. Join the notification squad to be notified of new videos. And have a great day.